If you're tired of overgiving, of shrinking yourself to be chosen, of feeling like love, peace, or abundance is something you have to earn, I want you to know this. You're not broken. You're just unpracticed in believing you matter. There is a way to live differently, and this is exactly why I created You Matter, an 8-week, soul-deep course to help you remember your worth, reclaim your power, and rewrite every relationship in your life, starting with the one you have with yourself. Enrollment is now open. You can find more information on my website, www.lindsaymorlock.com. Come walk with me on this journey, and I'll show you how your worthiness was never up for debate. The world is waking up, and you finding your way here today is no coincidence. The spirit world always has a way of guiding us where we most need to be at the absolute perfect time. I'm your host, Lindsay Morlock, and you're listening to the Guided Podcast, where we explore how the spirit world works on our behalf to guide us along our paths. This is where you'll learn how to live a life that is both conscious and connected, so you can supercharge your pathway to healing and open to life's magic and miracles. Come along this journey to see how guided you truly are. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Guided Podcast and another segment from the Messy Middle. Today's not just an episode, it is a transmission. I'm recording this in real time. I just returned from a sacred trip back to Arizona. And before I continue sharing the next chapter of my becoming journey, I'm giving myself a little space to land, to integrate, to honor the grace and the spaciousness that becoming so often requires. So this message comes from the part of me that knows what it feels like to outgrow an old version of yourself. The part of me that knows the ache of touching something true and then literally watching everything else begin to fall away. Because that's exactly where I've been. I just returned from one of those weekends that rearranges you. My farewell tour of Arizona, I'm calling it, where every part of me felt alive and in alignment. My body, my spirit, and my joy all met me in the same place. And then I got on the red-eye home. And the flight, logistically, it was fine. No traffic, no delays. But energetically, it was interesting. The seat didn't recline. Someone was coughing up a lung the whole flight right behind me. I had trouble sleeping. When I checked in, the kiosk glitched and I literally disappeared from the system, which was super symbolic and not lost on me. But everything was just uncomfortable. And I said to Spirit, how did I just have the most perfect weekend and everything unfolded with absolute seamlessness? And yet this part all of a sudden feels so glitchy and uncomfortable. Like, why after a soul-filling trip does the return always feel like such a crash? And then Spirit dropped in and said, this isn't regression, it's expansion. So I was flying back to New Jersey and feeling into my own knowing about what both of these places mean to me. New Jersey, which after my stint in Arizona had become a place of refuge, and now it actually feels like a waiting room. Whereas Arizona, which was beautiful and bright and full of sun when I was there, yet I had this clear knowing that it's not my place, and it never was. So neither place is wrong, but now I can feel both containers feel much too small, because something within me has shifted. And after processing it with Spirit, they gave me this message. They said, the arrival of the I am enough frequency is here. And it's now fully integrated within you as a result of your work. And that felt like such a celebration. I mean, this is the holy grail of becoming, right? So Spirit continued to tell me that anything that pulls me out of that I am enough frequency will now feel like dissonance in my body. And I really feel that. Spirit said I wasn't just jet lagged, I was soul lagged. And it's not because I'm broken or lost. It's because I touched something real. I saw myself, my true self, more clearly this weekend than ever before. And I was fully there. I wasn't contorting. I wasn't shrinking. I wasn't there to overgive or perform for love. I was relaxed, I was expressed, I was present. And I felt it in my entire being. I was enough. I was enough. My being was enough. That's the frequency my body now aligns with. Not a zip code, not a city. Her, this version of me. The me I fully integrated this weekend. And now that I've remembered her, everything else that doesn't match feels off. Not wrong, just no longer sufficient. And Spirit reminded me in this that I'm not supposed to slip back into the old mold quietly. I'm not supposed to fit where I used to. I've realigned. My nervous system has recalibrated to my truth. And this in-between feeling I'm learning, even though I was back in Arizona, back in the land of unrealized dreams, it wasn't failure. It was sacred. So now it's this hallway between what no longer is and what's yet to be. So if you're feeling that too, that weird disorientation after something beautiful, that ache of expansion, that tired but also energized, I don't know where I belong feeling, you're not alone. You didn't outgrow the place. You outgrew the version of you who settled in that place. So here and now, this moment as I record this, I'm letting this be a landing day. I'm not rushing. I'm not doing. I'm receiving what that weekend gave me, and I'm letting the old catch up to the new. Because sometimes declaring what's no longer a match for us is exactly what opens the way for what is. So wherever you are on your journey, I hope you let yourself land today. Let your soul lead. Let the memory of your light guide you home, not to a place, but to you. And so I know it might seem like I'm sharing the end of the story before we've even fully stepped into the unfolding of my becoming, but that's how I'm going to be moving through this, backwards, sideways, intuitively, and in real time. Because the truth is that healing does not always follow a straight line. Sometimes we arrive at the clarity before we lived the whole question. Sometimes the remembering comes first and the integration catches up later. And I trust that wherever you are on your path, your own clarity is making its way to you too. And I hope you'll meet me here again next week as the story continues to unfold, one breath, one truth, one bold, beautiful step deeper into who you really are at a time. Thanks for listening. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to the Guided Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you would share it with a friend or even leave me a review so we can ensure that it makes its way into the ears of listeners who need to hear these messages most. Until next time, may you remember how guided you truly are.